everybody, welcome to yet another video. Yes indeed, as you can see on the title page, I'm doing a movie review, but it's also Transformers related. But I cannot remember if I've actually ever spoken or reviewed this film before. I may have years ago, but anyway, I'm going to do it anyways, regardless if I've done it before. I can't remember. There's a lot of videos, and I can't be asked to go through every single video I've ever done. But anyway, as you see on the title page, my friends, I'm going to be reviewing Transformers, the movie from 1986. Stay tuned for the review.
Guilty secret to tell before my head.
Yes, indeed, do. Here's my review on this film. Oh, yes, please. Now, Transformers, this is, obviously you can see, this is the 30th anniversary limited edition steelbook version, which has the 4K remaster, and loads of bonus features. Now, this version, it looks absolutely stunning in as they've upscaled it and everything. Looks absolutely fantastic. Now, why am I making this video? Should I say not film? Video. Why am I making this video? Now, I'm making this because I don't think I've ever made a video talking about this movie, and also expressing how much I love this movie. I probably have in the past, I cannot remember, but anyway, here we go. So, Transformers, the 1986 animated film, feature film, was, for me, whenever I first saw this film, I can't remember how old I was, but I'm guessing I would have been probably late teens when I first saw it, maybe around about 15, 16. When YouTube was a thing and the internet was evolving still, and Google. So I think that's how I managed to see it, was probably online for the first time, I guess. Or maybe I rented it, because we did have, locally, we did have a rental, like a video rental shop, right where I live. So I did rent a lot of films that was new releases and stuff from years ago. So I'm guessing the first time was probably either I rented the film from a video rental place or I saw it online. Either one. But when I first saw this film, I just found it the best thing since sliced bread, in my opinion. I absolutely adore this film to this day. Ever since the first time I saw it to now, I cannot get enough of it. It's one of those films where I can just watch this endlessly every single day, and I will never get sick of it. It's one of those films that has become a very defining, a very defining film for me as a Transformers fan. I've been a fan since I was about 6 years old. Obviously, the first interpretation was Beast Wars, which is in the G1 continuity, as you find out as it goes along. So it's a prequel to G1 before they all come out of stasis, as we all know. Well, those of us that actually do like it. Some people don't know what good entertainment is. I'm joking, obviously. But, so Beast Wars was the first interpretation, and then, obviously, through the Unicron trilogy and so on and so forth, even that's very hit and miss, and the 2001 Robots in Disguise series as well. You know, ever since I was a kid, I've been a big fan of Transformers, obviously Beast Machines as well. I did enjoy when it was airing when I was a kid. So G1, I was quite late into checking out G1. Again, I can't remember how old I was, but I guess I would have been around about the same age as when I first saw this for the first time. So before we get too far into this, I want to just talk about what the film is about in a nutshell. Now, obviously, I am talking to my fellow fans of Transformers on this channel, hence why, this is primarily about Transformers and toys and things like that. But obviously, I want to transcend those people that are subscribed to me and know what this movie is. I want to transcend that, and I want to talk to those that are massive fans of animation but have maybe never, ever, ever seen this film. And now, even though you would probably find that very hard to believe, especially in 2020, some people not seeing this, but there are generations of Transformers fans that are not as familiar with Generation 1, Beast Wars, Beast Machines, anything from that time scale of series. They're more familiar with the new stuff like Cyberverse and Prime and things like that, and the movies, the live action films. That is where a lot of the new generation of fans are. That's their start into it. So obviously, that is the only kind of continuity that they know. So that's why I want to transcend. That's who I want to talk to. That's who I want to talk to in this video. So please let that be. Please, understand that those that are probably watching this that already know about it. So what is the story for the G1 1986 movie? What is it all about? Well, the film obviously centres around Unicron, the destroyer of worlds, destroyer of planets. Unicron is this ancient planet-sized Cybertronian robot that was just like all the other Cybertronians, such as the Autobots and Decepticons. The Quintessons were the ones that created him, as well as Primus. Now, Primus does not take centre stage in this. Obviously, Primus is still in stasis, as he is the planet that is the planet Cybertron. Planet Cybertron is actually called Primus. He is also an ancient planet-sized robot as well. Those that didn't know that, some might not. So, but Primus, I'm not even gonna talk any more about Primus because he doesn't have any sort of relevance to this. But all we know is that, well, he does have relevance, but what I mean is he doesn't have any relevance to this specific film. But yeah, Unicron is essentially kind of the brother, is the evil brother to Primus in essence. That was created by the Quintessons, and I cannot remember why they created him. I think he was just like order. It was like order to kind of control the numbers if anything got out of hand, maybe something like that. But obviously he became sentient, and he ended up kind of becoming his own bot in a way. He's not an Autobot. He's neither Autobot or Decepticon. He's not to a faction. He is literally a neutral rogue character that is just evil. So this film obviously centres around him literally on he's on course for Cybertron and Cybertron's moons, such as Moonbase 2, etc. And so the idea of this movie is that the Autobots have to come together. They also find help from other different Cybertronian races that are on other planets. They all come together to defeat Unicron. So that is the essence of the story. It's a very simple story. Obviously there is more emphasis to it, but that is pretty much the basis, is that Unicron is essentially this big, massive threat that has to be destroyed. And the only thing that can destroy it is the Matrix of Leadership, which is what Optimus Prime has in his chest, if anyone has actually seen Transformers before. And that is the only thing that is like the kryptonite to Unicron. As you know, kryptonite is the thing that is bad for Superman. It essentially the Matrix of Leadership is the kryptonite for Unicron. So that is that. So along the journey, as this as the film starts, it actually destroys, wipes out a lot of the original characters from G1, the series, from 1984 onwards. Literally within the first 20 minutes of the film, they're all wiped out. There's a big battle called the Battle of Autobot City, where Optimus Prime is fatally injured and later dies in a duel fight between between himself and Megatron. Thanks to the, I'm not going to be controversial about Hot Rod because a lot of that character gets a lot of slack because some fans think he's the one that killed Primal or caused the death of Prime. Sorry. But be that as it may, whatever side of the discussion you are on with that. But anyway, Hot Rod is the brand new character. He's the main character, and essentially he's the main protagonist. He is like the Luke Skywalker of this film. He is literally based on Luke Skywalker. This film is, in essence, as this was 84, which was the very first Star Wars film came out in the 70s, 78, 79, I think, which is A New Hope. And this is kind of like a Transformers parody. The core of this film is essentially Star Wars A New Hope. You've got Unicron, that is the Death Star, but obviously reimagined into being a big transforming robot instead of just a space station that can shoot a laser beam that can destroy planets. That is where they've changed it up a bit for him. But literally, you've got RC that is literally designed to look like Princess Leia. You've got Springer, brand new character, and he's a triple changer, which is the variant that next to Astro Train, there is literally, he is like of the brand new triple changer figure to come out, character. Springer is essentially, I can see as Harrison Ford, as Han Solo. So you've got Hot Rod, which is in essence, Skywalker, like I said. Then you've got the Death Star. Then you've got Princess Leia, which is aka RC in this essence. Then you've got Han Solo that I can pretty much kind of see as Springer because he's got that cocky kind of persona about him. Then you've got Cup that I can kind of see as Obi-Wan Kenobi in a way. He's got that, he has knowledge and he tries to bring that knowledge to these youngsters that don't know what war is about, and he has these war stories which I could be wrong with that, but I see as Obi-Wan Kenobi. But yeah, so the core main Autobot characters are essentially there. And then you've got the Decepticons. Obviously, Megatron is defeated in battle, and not defeated, but he's really badly injured. He ends up getting reconfigured into Galvatron, and Thundercracker and all the other Seekers, such as Thundercracker, Skywarp, all them lot and a few others, and we get Cyclonus and the Sweeps, which are a mixture of the Insecticons, the Seekers, and someone else. I can't quite remember. So we now have Galvatron. That is now the upscaled version, if you will, of Megatron, and he is then kind of recruited by Unicron to kind of do his bidding and to destroy the Matrix of Leadership that has been passed on to, from when Optimus did pass away or die, was passed on to Ultra Magnus, who Ultra Magnus is, I think this is the first time Ultra Magnus is brought into it as well, I think. Do not quote me on that, but Ultra Magnus is essentially, given the matrix of leadership, but obviously it ends up being passed to Hot Rod, who then in essence becomes Rodimus Prime later on, and he's the one that finally defeats Unicron with the Matrix leadership. He's able to beckon the power of the Matrix. But yeah, so that is pretty much it. That is pretty much it. The whole idea of this movie is just a feature length toy commercial that essentially they wipe out pretty much every single main character except for Bumblebee and Jazz, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think Bumblebee and Jazz are the only G1 characters I think in this film that survive. In the background, there are some characters that die in the background. You don't see them die, but there's a but Wheeljack is killed. At the beginning of the film, Ironhide, Prowl, Ratchet are killed by Megatron and the rest of the Decepticons. So yeah, they pretty much wipe out every main character from G1 except for Jazz and Bumblebee. So the whole idea is to sell toys, and it's this new wave of characters: Hot Rod, Rodimus Prime, Cup, Ultra Magnus, RC, Springer, etc. And then you've got Retgar, who is a Junkion. That's it, Junkion, which is again is a Cybertronian, but he lives on the planet Junk. Quite ironic. And basically, Retgar is I don't know if I think he's the leader maybe of this Junkion race of Cybertronians. They join the rest of the Autobots, and they go up against Galvatron and the rest of the Decepticons, the new reformatted Decepticons, and from there they pretty much then go on to destroy Unicron. So that is pretty much the story in a nutshell, without trying to go too far into it, too technical. But yeah, why do I love the film? Why do I love this film? Why do I love it? Now, I pretty much have answered that question already by saying that I find it one of the defining things that what makes me a fan of Transformers. That is the case. It is one of the most defining pieces of media that has come out over the past 35 plus years now in the lifespan of Transformers as we know it in the West. Of course, I say that because it was originally a mixture. It's actually a mixture of two Japanese toy lines. You got what was known as the Diaclone line, and then the there's two lines I completely forgot. About 2 or 3 different lines in Japan that they used certain characters and just changed them up a little bit and made them into Transformers later on when Hasbro created that toy line. But yeah, so Transformers as we know as it in the West as the characters, you know. But yes, it's an incredible film for me. I mean, it's not perfect in any shape or form. It's not perfect at all. It is just essentially it's Star Wars: A New Hope, but kind of just redone to be a Transformers film. And yeah, that's it. It's not perfect, but for me, it is one of my favourite of all time animated films. I just love it so much. It holds so much significance to me as a fan of Transformers and as a fan of animation as well. It's one of the most defining things that for me as a fan. It really is. Not just that. It's the soundtrack as well. The music to this film. It's Mr. Stan Bush, Spectre General, is it? As well. Leon, Viz DeCola, all these fantastic artists, bands, singers that come together to create one of the most iconic soundtracks I think is out there. It's a crime that a lot of people don't even know who Stan Bush is. I think that's an absolute crime, in my opinion. But the thing is, these people that Stan Bush is only mostly known for within the Transformers thing. Even though he's done music for other films, he's done music for Kickboxer. He did the main score for Kickboxer as well. I think it was Kickboxer. Yes. He's done main scores for other films. Now, he also, Stan Bush is he should be quite well known with people, really. But it's just an incredible soundtrack that just makes the film. The soundtrack. If this film didn't have a soundtrack as much as epic as it does, it wouldn't be any. I don't think it would be that special. Yeah, it'd be pretty good to watch it, but it's the soundtrack that makes this film the experience that it is when you watch it. It's every song is just so unique and so. I've just been listening to the soundtrack now again, and I've listened to that soundtrack countless times, and I never get sick of it, and I never get sick of this film either. The soundtrack signifies this film, and it makes it what it is. It's not perfect at all. There is issues with it, but for the most part, it is one of the most iconic pieces of media from Transformers, and I absolutely adore this film. So thank you very much for watching. This has been quite a long video. I am going to edit it. I cannot be arsed. But hopefully people that do appreciate this film will understand where I'm coming from. I might have maybe not described the film very well for people, because it's one of those things is that describing it to somebody, it's very hard to sell this film to people that has never seen it before. It's one of those things. It's quite a hard film to sell, because if you went to somebody that you knew that's never watched Transformers in their life and said, "Oh, mate, seriously, you've got to watch this." What the hell's that? Transformers? Never heard of it, mate. Right, yeah, but do you like cartoons? Do you like animation? Kinda? Give that a watch. What's it about? And when someone gets, what's it about? So, well, it's about big massive planet destroys, planet-sized transformer, destroys planets. It's pretty much the Death Star. It's pretty much Star Wars, but just kind of made to be a Transformers film. But when you kind of say it like that, it doesn't really sell it to the other person. It's very hard to describe this film and sell it to someone. So it's one of those things. You have to watch it for yourself to see it. You have to see it for yourself and get that idea in your heads, because there's a lot of people that are not massive fans of Transformers that have seen that film and absolutely love it, and they've not really into the series or the comic books. So there are people that do like that film that aren't actually really fans of Transformers. So yeah, absolutely love this film. So thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and I'll be back with more very soon. Also, very, very quickly, I have a community page now on Facebook. If you want to go to Facebook, go to search and put in TF Nosey, the name of this YouTube channel. So, obviously it's just up there, I think, in the corner somewhere. So you can keep up to date with my recent videos and things like that I do. So thank you for your continued support. See you soon. Peace.